won't ever get to take my place.
Welcome to Good Morning Friday, September 8th, 2023. Yes, Lord, I will follow you. John 15 verse 16 states, "You did not choose me, but I chose you. I appointed you to go and produce fruit, and that your fruit should remain, so that whatsoever you ask the Father in my name, he will give you." The calling to belong to Christ goes deeper than the kinds of workplace calling. The calling to follow Christ lies at the root of every other calling. In the Holy Bible, the word call is used most often to refer to God's initiative to bring people to Christ and to participate in his redemptive work in the world. We have examples of people who achieved impossible achievements and commanded great results in their lives despite the odds that were against them. We see a virgin conceived against normal physiological principles. We see Sarah delivered Isaac at the age of 90. We see Daniel survived the lion's den. We see the 3 Hebrews boys came out of the fire without a scratch. We see Joseph survive the most vicious household enemy, conspiracy, slavery, and prison to become the prime minister in a foreign land. We see Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa, 1994 to 1999, after spending 27 years in prison. We can learn lessons from these people. I will look at Abraham. Impossible things happen to those who believe they can happen. Look at Genesis 22 verse 1. God calls Abraham to leave his country and his people and journey to an undesigned land where he became the founder of a new nation. Abraham's success with God was founded on 3 major principles. 1, his obedience. 2, his giving willingly. And 3, his faith in God. In Genesis 12 verse 1 tells him to go to the land that God will show him. In other words, start walking and then I will tell you where you are going. How many of us would do that? What was Abraham's response to this command from the Lord? Verse 4 tells us, "So Abraham left as the Lord told him, with the promise of blessing and that trust that God will somehow lead him." He left his comfort zone. He left his family 700 miles from home. His obedience, his respect for God, his love and trust in God was demonstrated. You can begin by obeying God because you respect and honor him. To honor means his word carries weight with you. You cannot say you honor God while you are disregarding his word. No. That was the reason Abraham did not hesitate to offer Isaac to God when he was asked to do so, until God stopped him. This was how God interpreted Abraham's act of obedience. "Do not lay a hand on the boy," he said. "Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you have respect for God. You have not held back from me, your son, your only son." Genesis 22:12. Remember, God promised that Abraham would become the father of a great nation, receive a land, and bring blessing to all nations. Abraham's faith grew as he continued to walk with God, and so is our faith. Our faith can grow as we continue to walk with God. He struggled with believing God for a child through his wife Sarah, but God continued to work on his faith until he became fully persuaded that it was possible. And so, in our day, no matter the circumstances we face, we can hold on to the promises of God. What are the odds against you? What are you ready to respond to God calling? If you are to succeed, it is applicable to look at the lives of people who broke through impossible barriers to achieve their God-given goals by following God's calling. Remember, your story is about to change. So don't give up. Keep holding on to God's promise. Keep going closer. Have a closer walk with Him. As you draw close to God, He will draw close to you. This is Reverend Sharon Martin.
I will worship you, Jesus, in all that I do, so that no sticks, no stones, no, won't ever get to take my place.